It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Wait for it, guys. It's a tongue twister. This is called Patrizio The Persuasive Peacemaker Bourbon Barrel Aged Old Ale by Amager Bryghus. And it's to celebrate their 10-year anniversary in brewing. It's 10.5% ABV. There's a look at the label. Big description on the side of this label. If you want to pause the video and have a read of that, do so now. But otherwise, here's the bottle cap. I'm going to get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. Many thanks to Morton for sending me the beer. Nice bit of smoke on the bottle opening. Beer in the glass then. An old ale. That's poured out tremendously well. 10.5% ABV. Look at the quality of that beer. One finger tan coloured head. It's very dark for an old ale, but I suppose old ales can be very dark. There's nothing stopping them. They can be very dark amber, they can be jet black. I can hear the carbonation just tinkling away at itself. Let's see if we can hear it here with the microphone. It looks very good. Barrel aged. This series has been barrel aged, this whole series. The Imperial Stouts, the Porters. There's a barley wine. But before I get in, I just want to touch on Morton. Morton has been sending me terrific beer from Norway, Denmark. I mean, these beers, I had the whole series. I've got the Christopher up there, the barley wine. But Morton sent me the whole range of this beer. And they've been tremendous. And I've had beers for Christmas off him just recently, just 5 months ago, and then beers before that. And without people like Morton, this channel wouldn't survive. It really wouldn't survive. I do 2 beer reviews a day. I thank everybody for the generosity. Every now and again, I make a mistake. I say something like, this beer was sent by Peter and it was actually sent by Christian from Germany, and I'm like, oh blimey, I've made a massive mistake. But that's just me. That's just silly old me. There's no, and I'd like to, while I'm here, while I'm talking about it, I'd like to apologise to I've done it 3 times in the last month. It's very unlike me. I've forgotten where the beers come from. And that sounds awful, absolutely awful. And I suppose it's just me apologising to you guys for forgetting where the beers come from. And it's your hard-earned cash. It's people who watch my channel and send beer with their hard-earned cash. So yeah, I'm sorry if I have messed up along the way. Let's get the aroma on this beer. Thank you, Morton. Yeah, for an old ale, that smells tremendous. There's a lot of roasted malt coming through. You get a little bit of that kind of whiskey, bourbon, woody, barrel agedness about it. On my nose. It's slightly chocolatey, coffee, caramel. Should we dive in? Cheers. Ooh. All of these beers have been super bitter, or either super bitter. Oh, blimey! Either super bitter is a mixture actually of being super bitter, and from the barrels they must have been fresh, wet barrels, wet bourbon barrels. The whiskey must have been still wet in the barrel. You can taste it. It's soaked. soaked right into this beer. Oh, it's really, you can feel the warming sensation in the throat. Good carbonation. I'd say it's a bit, ironically, been talking about it recently. There's a bit of cherry coke going on here. A bit of cherry, bit of cola, cocoa, vanilla, wood, chocolate, coffee, caramel. The drinkability is very good. It's a good drinkability, good carbonation. Licorice, there's some licorice coming through. It's a real thinker's man beer. We'd have to really think about this beer in order to pull all the flavours out. But what I've picked up from this series is the barrels that they've got. Bourbon barrel aged. They might be from Tennessee. They might be wherever they've got these bourbon barrels from. Bourbon barrels, I should say. They're wet. They're still damp from the whiskey. That means that the wood hasn't had time to maybe dry out. The liquid that if you left a bottle of whiskey open, it would just evaporate in a few days. It's probably the same with a barrel. If you leave the lid off a barrel, it'll probably evaporate itself dry. But yeah, I'm going to reiterate, I reckon these barrels were fresh in, just being used from whiskey, and they were still very wet. They've soaked in quite a lot of that flavour and alcohol. But it's very drinkable. I can see why they've called it an old ale. It's not like the Russian Imperial Stout. It's not like the Imperial Porter, the barrel-aged Porter, the barrel-aged Imperial Stout. They had a lot more body, a big, massive, fat body going on in the beer. This is thinner. This is more drinkable. But nonetheless, it's terrific. It really is a terrific beer. I love the vanilla. I love the licorice, the chocolate, the coffee, the caramel, the bitterness, the carbonation, the drinkability of the beer for 10.5%. It's a lovely beer. Let's rate it. Amager Bryghus, 10-year anniversary. Patrizio The Persuasive Peacemaker. That is a mouthful. Bourbon barrel aged old ale at 10.5% ABV. I'm going to rate it . I like the look of the beer. I like the aroma. I like the fact that you really have to think about the beer. You've really got to pull this beer apart to be able to pull all of the different flavours. The vanilla, the licorice, the chocolate, the coffee, the caramel, the slight coconut, the spiciness, the bitterness, the biscuit malt coming through. There's so much going on. I like that. I like that. I like it enough to give it a Stone the Crows 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! And cheers.